Good morning. My name is Bill Langford, or Burnt Finger, and the purpose of this channel is going to be to discuss prepping and survivalism and homesteading, living off grid, trading Nadex, uh, rodeos, and I'm sure there'll be four or five other things that might just pop up on here accidentally. And I never really intended to start one of these channels, but I do watch some videos and I enjoy to fire out all of them. And well, sometimes I comment on them to the screen. And somebody once told me that, well, Bill, you're an old man and you've done a lot of things, so why don't you make some videos about them? So I said, well, that sounds like a just dandy idea that ought not to happen. But my wife was one of those people, and so for Christmas, she brought me a microphone. So blame her. Anyway, I do tend to get involved in the comment section on a lot of the videos I watch, so we'll see where this goes. Feel free to comment on mine too. That ought to be a hoot. Like I said, I'm 73 years old, and for about 30 years or so, I've lived off grid. And the first place we lived was with my late wife and our young daughter. We raised her out in the woods. And my late wife was from Boston, never been out of a big city till we got married. And we stayed married for 21 years until she passed away from breast cancer. People used to say the reason we stayed together is we couldn't understand each other because she had this hideous Boston accent and I talk right. And well, that was only part of it. And but anyway, she was from Boston, from good family, and when my daughter was born, we wanted to raise her out in the woods, raise her with our native traditions, and not be all packed cheek by jowl. And well, we had a chance to get a four family in Boston and four family house. My father-in-law said, Bill, why don't you take that? It's an awful good deal. And I said, well, it is. But if I can't pee in the yard and shoot breakfast from the front porch, I'm kind of in the wrong place. And so we had a good laugh about that. Me and my wife and daughter moved out to woods out in central Wisconsin. And we had 5 acres on a river. And I hunted and fished and trapped. And she made a big garden. And so we had plenty of what we needed. We homeschooled our daughter. And that was a grand way to live. And she had a little bit of culture shock, but she walked in the house and she saw a hand pump sitting there and said, what's that? I said, that's your running water. Well, how does it work? I said, well, you make this little handle go up and down and up and down, and the water comes out, see? And so we had kind of an adventure there. And, well, where do we go to the bathroom? Well, that little house over there, that's an outhouse. Out of what? I said, out of luck in the wintertime. It gets cold in there, darling, but that's where you go. And she says, well, why is the pump in the house? I said, honey, that's the only socially redeeming feature of this whole damn house is that you got the hand pump inside the house. And in the wintertime, when it snows about waist deep, you don't need to be going out and standing out in the yard pumping this pump handle to make water. And Well, anyway, things went on, and she came to love it there. When time come for her to die, I asked her, "Did you want to go back to Boston and be with your family and die out there?" And she said, "Let me think about it." And well, next day she said, "Well, I thought about it." I said, "Well, what did you thought?" And she says, "You know, in a way, I'd love to be back there." She says, "But I'd miss the trees. I'd miss the trees, the way the wind comes through them. It was out here I heard the trees actually sing. And it was here that I first heard the snowfall. And she said, here is where I want to die. And I want to be buried in my garden." I said, "Yes, ma'am, it shall be done." And it was. But anyway, that's the kind of thing I'm going to talk about. We'll talk about hows and whys and technical details, but most of the stuff I'm going to tell you is stuff I've either done or done badly and healed up from. And, well, you're welcome to come along and share the adventure of what this is going to turn into. And I'd appreciate it if you liked it or disliked it, or subscribe, and that kind of stuff, all the usual stuff. And, well, see you down the road.